become by becoming rich.
Take all your money, buy Bitcoin.
I say when we sell.
Wake up every morning and say GM.
GM. GM. Today is Tuesday, the 8th of October. This is daily levels. And I suspect that after yesterday's reversal, sort of bearish candle, I would suspect that we're going to go and take this liquidity. I still think, like what I mentioned on Weekly Outlook and some of the videos towards the end of last week, I'm very much of the opinion that Bitcoin is going to be in a very choppy, liquidity-driven, hunting of traders type of environment, because I think zoomed out, higher time frame, Bitcoin's going up eventually, but in between then you've got a lot of short-term players trying to speculate, trying to position for it, and I think it needs to grind through a lot of that first before we have an upside move. So I think we probably go up to fill a little bit of that wick, and then down, and then up, and then down, and more chop like that. I tend to think that's going to be more of what we see. I would suspect that the best possible trade, at least the best trade I can see, is taking out that 60k level and then reclaiming the 200 EMA on the daily. If we go below there and back above, I think it can move right through to the highs. Depends how rapid the move is. If we get the move down, obviously the move down would need to be pretty sharp, pretty fast to be setting up like that. And I think that Bitcoin is setting up in that way where you can see it sort of grinding around like this and dropping, or more likely I would actually say that it's probably going to consolidate in here and then make a move higher and then drop, where it takes out some of these highs and seems like it's reclaiming key levels and then has a sharp drop. If so, I'll be watching for the lows below to get tagged. If not, it's really just in between, sort of bullish and bearish. The 4-hour bands, it is trying its best to reclaim them and hold them. 4-hour trend is actually still intact there. Not that Bitcoin's in a 4-hour trend. It's not, right? It's not like on a higher time frame basis, Bitcoin's not trending. It's broken down here from this previous swing low. Structures are broken. This is a bearish retest. If you're looking at it as a head and shoulders, there you go. So anything in this area here is most likely going to be a bearish retest before lower. And I think that it's all just short term, going to be a lot of chop, probably for most of October, as such a big focus was put on how October was going to be bullish, October meme and all that kind of shit. I said on the monthly preview, I think there'll be a bad start to October and that October would finish green. That's playing out so far. I don't know if October will finish green or where it will finish. The monthly open is only around there. It's 63.2, so wouldn't be surprised to see us make a move lower, then come back above and close the month higher, and then have a dip down in November, and then maybe break out later on. Just something like that. I just keep viewing this as being most likely. That the main thing to remember, unless something major changes, the outlook is actually bullish. The higher time frame is bullish. The setups are bullish. The environment for risk assets looks bullish. The cutting cycle is bullish. China pumping loads of stimulus is bullish. So all of that should be, at least in my view, should be what you use as your reasoning to remain long biased, or long, maybe bias is the wrong word, but you know what I'm saying. You should have a long outlook over the next few months until there's major changes. And that means any pullbacks or drops or dips are probably going to be opportunities. And the longer it takes to grind through this range, it doesn't mean that it's suddenly becoming bearish. You can't allow price to lead your opinions unless it's breaking key structures. So for price itself, we'd have to break this low. That's the level. Lose the 50 EMA on the weekly, lose that most recent low. That's where actual price confirmation of bearish, undeniably bearish, that's where that happens. Everything in between is noise. When it goes up, you're going to think, oh, breakout's coming right away. When it goes down, you're going to think, oh, shit, it's so over, we're so back. I don't think we're out of that yet. I think that's going to continue. And so the main thing is that you have to stay patient. Altcoins have pulled back. Meme coins are coming back into their previous ranges. Lots of pullbacks, lots of false breakouts across the market. And MOG was one as well. False breakouts, pullbacks. Many of these will come back and continue on as the market consolidates. Some of them will have deeper corrections to come. But you can see that we had this sort of market environment where everything seemed like it was moving and alts and memes were pumping, and now they're starting to pull back. Right, some of these big breakouts like you saw in some of the meme coins are starting to probably slow down a little bit as people FOMO in, I guess. Sui as well. Sui made another move through to the highs here, right up at the double top of all-time high. And obviously, depending on what BTC does, I think that Sui move was from here, too much shorting, took out the highs. Probably it's just going to remain as that, as a deviation, and that could be your proper top for Sui before it goes back for more of a lengthier consolidation, where it might go down, build, and then break out later on. I would expect some kind of local top here. Not right now, but just looking across altcoins in general, it seems that many of them are getting into that sort of area. Total 3 looks just like, pretty much just like Bitcoin, not trending, not downtrending, not uptrending, just sideways, and grinding its way through this range as well. So it's really just a lot of positioning for a lot of people, I would guess, who are trying to position for a quick move or expecting the move sooner, and that's just going to lead to more chop and more difficult conditions for them. That's the way I'm viewing it. The VIX was spiking, so volatility in the stock market was rising yesterday. Whenever the VIX, which is a volatility index, rises, high volatility is bad for risk assets because it's the first thing people sell off. Heightened volatility is a sign for players to hedge or exit or reduce risk. So volatility rising, I see people assume that this is because of war fears. I don't think so. I think it's the election. Because now we're getting closer and closer and closer. People want to hedge. There's a lot of uncertainty. Volatility can unpin towards that. I don't think it's anything to do with the war, really. I think that spike was last week, for sure. I think everything else with that is now pretty much priced in. And the uncertainty around the election. And I saw something on Twitter about this, that it's because it's now under 30 days until the election. That's why it now shows up on VIX, because it's 30-day forward contract or something like that, which makes sense too. So this move in volatility happens every October in a election year. Pretty much every 4 years in October this happens. You see here. Where's October? Here. Right, we've early October, starts off with higher volatility and then it comes down. 2016, probably the same thing. Where are we? Here's October. There's October, spiking, rising volatility throughout the pre-election period. 2012. Here is October here. Little spike, rise up in volatility in October, and so on and so on and so on. So it's fairly normal to see this. And I don't think it's going to have major effect beyond the short term. I don't think this is what's causing Bitcoin to do what Bitcoin's doing. I think, like I've said, that Bitcoin is basically in an area where it needs to chop around a bit and consolidate a bit. So keyword here is patience. Don't get yourself chopped up. Everyone trying to do the exact same thing at the exact same time, all expecting the exact same results, are going to get wrecked. And as it goes up and down and oscillates around and chops sideways and rallies fail and pumps pull back and altcoins make new lows, in their short-term consolidations, don't get shaken out. if you're looking at higher time frame positions, don't allow them to be offset or thrown off by some of this short-term volatility. And that's all. That's it. GM.